when something this major happens, when you have the fallout, 50 women coming forward, that it's a watershed moment.
We arrested a former employee who was working at Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls. She was arrested yesterday for several charges, including assault, indecent assault, as well as...
Gene Deal goes off on Oprah, Gayle King, and Diddy, celebrity friends.
The gossip on the streets is that Oprah is on the run. So why don't I give you the full story? It all began when Diddy, yes, the music mogul, got himself into trouble and was detained. Since then, everyone has been wondering what's going on. But this is where it gets juicy. Yes, Oprah was indeed captured by. I get what you're thinking. The BDC is attempting to leave the nation. What role does Oprah have in Diddy's messy situation? That's the million-dollar question, honey. Apparently, these two possess a relationship that we were unaware of, whether it be personal or business-related, or even more scandalous. But that's only the very beginning. You won't believe what we discovered.
And like I said, this brother either got some tape, some dirt on them. I remember Diddy said something about, hey, if y'all really, like, for the ones who really rock with me, like, he was saying, like, I mean, really, really rock with me. I think what he said by that is, like, for the ones who really know what I be doing and know that you were there to witness it. And I know what you did, too. It's crazy, man. Because, like I say, where's everybody at? All the people that was at these parties, where y'all at now? Back on the Art of Dialogue channel. I'll leave in the description. We ain't gonna waste no more time, man. Shout out to all the good humans. Let's jump right into it. Let's see what he got to say.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. That's crazy, man. But why haven't any of Diddy friends spoke up for him?
My man, listen here. All those ones who made it to the Diddy party,
yeah,
to the after party, and to the hotel lobby.
After the party is an after party.
They not gonna ruin their brand.
Speak on it.
They not gonna say nothing. Man, I was watching the other day. Listen to me. They did that. They on Channel 2 News here in New York. Gayle King and Nate and that other guy, they were talking about, they showed him beating Cassie, and they showed him the apology and the whole 9 yards. All they said is that we have commentary about that, but we got to go to a commercial. They never came back and said nothing about it. I was like, yo, damn. He still got power like that? Somebody still like him like that? Because you know he was running with Oprah and them. He was running with that whole crew.
Yeah.
Weinstein, Oprah, Epstein. He was running with that whole crew.
And we know what Oprah said about Weinstein, you know, when all that stuff came out. So I'm trying to tell y'all, man, I know I've been covering a lot of these videos. I feel like this is what's important right now, you know, because it's a lot of people who support a lot of these artists, these talk show hosts. I was doing it at one point, but it's when you find out information, man, you need to act on it. Whether it's not supporting them no more, I want to know everything I need to know. All right, because these people will have you fooled, man. They will have you fooled.
They want to know how we're going to do it, how the public is going to take him. Is the public going to let him back in? And the public is not. The public is already canceling him. I don't believe the industry has canceled him yet. All those people who went to those Diddy parties, not one of them had came out and denounced what he has done. I haven't heard one of them.
Now that you're probably wondering what's going on with Diddy, grab your wigs because what we found out about him will leave you speechless. What if I told you that this wasn't just about him? but rather a whole network of A-list celebrities caught in the crossfire. Let's dissect this. Diddy was arrested during a raid on his houses in Los Angeles and Miami. Federal officials were swarming the scene like it was a Hollywood script. But this wasn't a script from a movie. It was real life. The rumors on the streets are that it's all about drug use and sex trafficking. I know what you're thinking. Another famous person involved in something ridiculous. But this is serious business. We're talking about accusations that could land Diddy in jail for a very long time. Picture the kind of tea that could leak from Diddy's cribs, computers, and phones. I'm sure there are some A-listers out there. Let's talk about how Hollywood is responding to all this drama. It's like a game of musical chairs, but instead of taking a seat, everyone is trying to distance themselves from Diddy. Some of his old friends are acting like they've never even met the man. Meanwhile, others are sweating bullets, wondering if their dirty laundry is about to be aired.
I heard one person denounce, well, man, let God handle it. Get the hell out of here.
He ain't lying.
Get out of here with that.
That's what most of them are saying.
If that was your daughter, would you let God handle it? All those people, they ain't denounced him. They ain't definitely, they can't come forward and say, yo, I support him. Because it would mess up their brand.
Yeah.
It would mess up their brand. Jay-Z. We the only one could call each other Sean. Jay is the only one could call me Sean. I'm the only one could call him Sean. Get the hell out of here. If that ain't no fun boy stuff. But you ain't had not one person, brother, not one person sit there, denounce what he did, or come forward and say, I support him.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Nobody haven't came out to support him, man. Not one person outside of Stevie J.
Yeah, Stevie J.
Stevie don't count, bro.
Again, like, you know, I wonder what people are going to say once all this cools down. Whether it's him going to jail, him not going. I just wonder what people are going to say. Because, you know, I know Oprah had so many people on her show dealing with, like, I got to choose my words carefully, man. YouTube be, boy, they be. But when it's dealing with men and women, you know, y'all know what I'm trying to say. The DV, you'll figure it out. The domestic stuff. She's had so many people on her channel talk about, her show talk about that. So it's like, but you already know with Oprah, with the whole Maui situation going on, that she got a lot of backlash for that. It's just, my whole thing is like, saying nothing is almost worse. Because, like, it's not like you got to say, oh, I need to wait to see. You don't need to wait. Everybody in the world done seen that video. And it just goes to show that, I mean, you could even go like Chris Brown, that situation with him and Rihanna. You know, people still got him featured in their song. Like, people will, they'll forgive, but they won't forget. But at the same time, it's like, what is the real punishment? You know, you take your just average person and they're gonna be locked up, right? So it goes to show you that, you know, this dude is working with some powerful people who's probably keeping him out of jail to keep themselves out of jail. Yeah. But we already know how Oprah is. I'm glad this channel be talking about this stuff, man, because I feel like it's important.
However, this is the joke. It's not like pulling on a loose thread and watching a whole sweater unravel. Some courageous people are speaking out, and what they have to say isn't pretty. Rumors of an entire underground network of shady dealings with Diddy at the center are rampant, and this mess is hurting Diddy where it hurts most, his empire. We're talking about a man who's built a whole lifestyle brand. Ciroc Vodka, Scene John Apparel. Now that Bad Boy Records is in trouble, sponsors are scrutinizing their contracts and deciding whether to bail before the ship sinks. But this is where things get really juicy. Recall that I mentioned earlier that this wasn't just about Diddy. It turns out that this whole thing may be related to some other well-known figures in the business. We're talking about unexpected people who have been acting honorably in public, but maybe harboring some very dark secrets. And this is where our girl Oprah comes in. I understand your thoughts. I know you're wondering, what's Oprah got to do with all this? But let me tell you, it's not a coincidence that she's trying to flee at the same time as the Diddy drama is unfolding. In fact, the timing is suspicious to say the least. Oprah has always been known for her connections and her ability to get inside information on everything going on in Hollywood. So, as she's running, you have to wonder what she knows that the rest of us don't. Not only is Oprah behaving strangely, but a number of celebrities have abruptly stopped posting on social media, canceled engagements, or simply disappeared. What does all of this mean for Diddy and his future in the entertainment industry? It seems like they're all playing a game of hide and seek, but the stakes are far higher than merely being it. Things aren't looking good. Even if he wins these accusations, his reputation will suffer a blow from which it may never fully recover. It's possible that we are seeing the fall of an empire unfold before our very eyes.
Charles, I mean, shocking is an understatement when you hear the details of this case. What are your thoughts after hearing the indictment yesterday?
Good morning, Brian and Natalie. I got to tell you, my thoughts reading the 14-page indictment yesterday were that there are a lot of people in Hollywood who are probably worried about which Diddy parties they were at and what was going on. That's not to say that they were necessarily even involved in any of the things that are alleged by the U.S. Attorney's Office. But if you're at that party and it turns out that that's when he set up one of these freak-off sex parties, or that it was going on in another room and you didn't know about it, there's a good chance that you're going to be called by the U.S. Attorney's Office. And certainly if you were involved, you would get a call because they're going to want to know everything you want to know and may even want you to be a witness. I just think, we're just starting to scratch the surface of what this case, this case is going to touch and involve. And the feds have said that this remains an open investigation. There could be more charges for Diddy. There could be more charges for other people involved. And usually the way this works is once they find out other people are involved or were witnesses, they bring them in and they sort of lean on them, and it's sort of like, you're going to cooperate with us, or there's a possibility that you could face charges. So this is going to be a slow developing a case here, because we're just getting started, and I don't see how this trial begins anytime before next year.
There are a lot of wild allegations in those documents that came out yesterday, including 1,000 bottles of baby oil. What surprised you the most about what you read yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, that, Brian, was was definitely an alarming graph of the indictment when you read that when they raided, I believe it was the Miami home, where they found 1,000 bottles of, and they said that these were items that were used at the freak-offs. There were also large amounts of drugs, they said, cocaine, ketamine, Molly, GHB, the rape drug. So, they said that the house, according to the feds, that was stocked for these parties that were going on. And then to read their description of how Diddy, as they say, lured women into joining these parties. And they say that he would meet them or lure them, get to know them, and lure them in, thinking they would think that there was going to be a romantic relationship with him, and then it would turn out that they would be at these freak-offs where they would be forced to have, or drugged and forced to have sex with male prostitutes that he was bringing in. And that's one of the counts that he's facing also, is the transportation of individuals for a purpose of prostitution. So really alarming allegations laid out in court. Diddy, of course, has pled not guilty to all of it. And then the real kicker for him at the end of the day was that the judge said you will be held without bail. And that means however long it takes for this trial to begin, he will be in a federal detention facility in Brooklyn, and not a very nice one. In fact, a fairly notorious one. So you got to figure it. He wants out of there, and he wants out as soon.
While Diddy's world implodes, another media mogul is moving forward. Let me paint you a picture. Oprah Winfrey was photographed leaving the nation, and something is off. Everyone is talking about it. Oprah appears to be very nervous when the BBC captures her at the airport. She is wearing sunglasses to try to blend in with the crowd, but you can't hide that Oprah glow. The Queen of Talk is rushing through security as if she has a plane to catch, and possibly a lot of explaining to do.
Right now, Charles, of men with power falling from grace in Hollywood. And when I think about Harvey Weinstein, you know, that was an open secret in Hollywood for a very long time about what he was doing with victims. Was this also the case with P. Diddy, that the people kind of knew this was going on?
I will say this, there have always been whispers about his power and how he wielded that power. But I can't say I heard any whispers about these freak-offs, and it's really alarming. You know, we were talking about it yesterday. One, these parties had a lot of individuals. In fact, the U.S. Attorney's Office says that the parties would sometimes go on for days. So there are a lot of individuals involved, and yet, and they say this has been going on for more than 10 years, and yet we didn't hear about that. So that means that all the people that were involved, according to the feds, were that he managed to keep them all quiet, that nobody would speak about it. And that does sort of speak to the kind of power he wielded and the fear that people had of him. We're also talking about the fact that the beating of Cassie, which was captured on the hotel surveillance video, that was, 6 years ago. And alleged when nobody knew about it. Nobody heard about it. Think about all the people that were at the hotel who may have known about it, people who saw the surveillance video and never spoke about it. And like you said, we're in an era where when things like that happen, people speak out about it. So the fact that no one did, that it only took this, really Cassie's lawsuit before any of this started coming out, it does kind of speak to the power that he wielded, and that the fact that nobody wanted to cross him.
And Charles, what do you think happens next in this case? Members of Sean Combs' family have been ordered to give up their passports. He's currently in jail. What do you think happens from here?
Well, his attorneys, the first thing that's going to happen is today, his attorneys are going back into court. They've appealed the bail ruling. And like I said, I'm sure he wants out, and that's their first job right now, is to get him out. They've offered a $50 million package for bail. That was rejected yesterday, but they're going to take another swing at it today. And then after that, what happens, look, he did surrender his passport to his lawyer. We should say the way his team put it out, originally they made it sound like he had turned it over to the authorities. He had turned over his passport back in April to his lawyer, as did his children and his mother. And their point was they wanted to make the case to the court that, look, we're cooperating here. He is not a flight risk. And they feel like that the U.S. Attorney's Office undermined that by raiding his hotel on Monday night and arresting him when they say he was in New York because he was more than willing to surrender. In fact, the plan was for him to surrender on Tuesday, and then for some reason, the feds decided to arrest him Monday night. Diddy's attorneys think they did that so that it would look like he wasn't cooperating, and then the judge would deny him bail, which, as it